interpreter is helping us to translate, so you can grab a headphone from the back if you need Spanish interpretation. Thanks everyone for being here. Oh, for some reason the computer just stopped projecting. Well, we had a little IG.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, it's there. So we're gonna do the roll call. Welcome everyone. Hi. We're just starting the meeting. I'm gonna do hold the roll call. Project lead for Grid Alternatives.
I'm Best Secretary. Okay.
Project lead from Groundwork Richmond. Yes, here. Project lead for Rich City Right here. Project lead for Trust for Public Land
Here.
Project lead for UC Berkeley. Let's record that project lead for UC Berkeley is absent. Project lead for Urban Chill.
Here.
And our new community member, Tomasa, is absent today too. So we have two absences, UC Berkeley and our Richmond resident Tomasa are absent for the roll call today. So for everyone who is joining today for the first time, we meet here every first Wednesday of the month from 6 to 8 p.m. In person, you can attend here at Levin Community Center, 598 Levin Avenue, Richmond, California, 94801. You can also do virtual attendance through Zoom. That's our link. You can also join through phone numbers. You can dial those two numbers on the screen and just dial the webinar ID to join the meeting on the phone. All committee members and members of the public must abide by the community agreements. We have community agreements that are on that table in the back. If you need any additional information, you can get it from there. Thanks everyone for joining us. We're going to do the land acknowledgement. So I would ask my partners in the committee to help me with reading the land acknowledgement. Can we start on that side, Amnesty?
Yes.
Thank you.
While Richmond Rising seeks to strengthen the economy, improve public health and the environment, particularly in the Iron Triangle, Santa Fe, and Coronado neighborhoods, we do so with the awareness that we occupy unceded Quechin and Kwakин Ohlone territory.
We acknowledge that land theft of indigenous homelands and the dismantling of the indigenous sovereignty was done to advance colonization.
We acknowledge that capitalism and white supremacy are branches of colonialization, that have persisted throughout hundreds of years of oppression, are alive today, and contribute to keeping Black, Indigenous, and all other people of color from thriving.
We further acknowledge that this country's political, economy, and social institutions were built on the forced labor of African people on stolen land through violent systemic abduction from their homelands and enslavement over hundreds of years.
We further acknowledge the exploitation of immigrant and refugee communities as modern forms of cheap and disposable labor are regularly carried out on stolen land.
Thus, we acknowledge that we have been impacted and harmed by these centuries and experience imposed on our ancestors and communities. We further uplift the shared struggle among Black, Indigenous, and all people of color.
We also acknowledge that Indigenous people continue to live here, steward the land, and resist settler colonialism.
We conclude that our land acknowledgement is an active and evolving statement and process. It requires us to recognize historical injustices and invites us to be active participants in our collective healing. For folks who have not been joining this evening, Richmond Rising, the city and Richmond, the city of Richmond has 6 local organizations sitting down at this table, together known as Richmond Rising, received $35 million to bring health, economic, and environmental benefits to the Iron Triangle, Santa Fe, and Coronado neighborhoods. Richmond Rising is supported by the California Strategic Growth Council, the Targeted Climate Communities Program. This collaborative stakeholder committee meeting provides guidance on project implementation, also accountable and reaching our goals, can make recommendations, provide input, and assist project leads in implementing project activities, does not have a final decision-making authority, and project leads must consider recommendations from the committee and the members of the public that are here. I want to open public comment that is not on the agenda. So this is the space for people who are joining us today for the first time. This is the space for members of the public to provide any public comment on items that are not included in our agenda today. Are there any comments that you want to make or any questions that you have here in the public? We're happy to hear you and happy to take your questions. In the back, do you want a microphone? Awesome.
I'm happy to do here. My mom did bring me here. We didn't buy a truck, like gold, or what was the topic be, so, I just kind of want to find out from you guys. I think I still up in this last phone call, but, yeah.
We're happy to get back to that topic. So just so you know, the city of Richmond got a $35 million grant. This grant is focused on reducing greenhouse gas emissions and is focused on creating projects that bring health, economic, and environmental benefits to the Iron Triangle, Santa Fe, and Coronado neighborhoods. And this funding is coming from the Strategic Growth Council. This group meets every month. This is a collaborative stakeholder community. So the people who you see in this table have to come together every month and present publicly with community members so you guys can know what exactly is happening on each of the projects that we have. We have 15 projects going on, and the organization sitting down and the city just talk about the advance that we have been working on. And there's specific items on the agenda which you can find in this side of the table. And if you want to add any topics to the agenda, that is also possible. We just request people at the end to let us know what they would like us to talk about on the next meeting. Awesome. Any other questions or public comments that we have in the public? Okay, if we don't have any more public comments or comments from the public, I'm going to continue with the items in the agenda. 1 second, because my computer. No. There we go. So the first step for us to continue is to review and the previous meeting minutes for the people who are sitting down in this table, committee members. We send you the previous minutes, and can we approve the previous minutes that we reviewed, or does anyone have any comments or questions on the minutes that we sent you a couple of weeks ago?
I make a motion to approve the meeting.
Thank you so much, Andessa. Second. Thank you, Lorena. So can we vote for approval of the previous meetings minutes, supporting Andessa's motion?
I approve.
Trustee Probably?
Approved.
Richmond, Rich City Rights, Mercantile?
Approved.
Then it's approved by all the members who are present today in the meeting. So the first item that we always have for the people who are joining us today, we talk about the project planning reports. We have each of these projects, and you let every partner talk about their up-to-date financials, their rent expenditures, and the projects, and all the information that they want to share with the committee or the public. Oh. I'm going to stop sharing and share again to see if that helps. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and see if that helps. There we go. So I'm going to start with the city. The first project is grantee, which is basically all the administration of the project. So just so you know, we schedule, coordinate, and facilitate the CNC meeting, which is the meeting that you guys are attending today. We include translation, refreshments, and childcare for the people who just join us. Tenemos interpretación en el fondo del cuerpo, si alguien necesita audífonos para escuchar la reunión en español, lo pueden hacer. Eddie, nuestra intérprete, está sentada en la parte de atrás del cuarto. We also have childcare available if anyone needs childcare. We have it in the entrance room of the community center. We also have worked on invoices and reports. So we submit invoices to the state every 2 months, and the submitted invoice number 5. Invoice 4 was recently approved by the Strategic Growth Council, and we received reimbursement checks for reports 1, 2, and 3. So that means we have been receiving the money back from the state. And check number 4 is the cost of being received. So we're up to date. Total expenditure that we have used in this project is $135 million, $135,000. Our remaining budget is $500,000. Plans work in the next 2 weeks is we will be circulating this minute number 5, meeting number 8, actually not number 5. We will be starting invoice number 6, and we will share with you all the forms to report leverage that is due on August 15th. So we'll be paying all the invoices from partners and other consultants in the next 2 weeks too. So I'm gonna let okay, we're able to see it. The second project that we have is Neighborhood Complete Streets. This project is the improvement of 2 of the main streets in the project area. And we met with CSW consultants, which are the consultants that are doing the design work for this project. And we reviewed costs with them. We met with Richmond Main Street Initiative to talk about community engagement for the project. Total expenditures of this project is $6,000. We still have $501 million left in this project. For the next couple of weeks, we're preparing engagement messaging and communications for this project, and we will start community engagement as well as town hall meeting that will be hosted here on our next CSD meeting on August 2nd. And I'm gonna let Richmond Wellness Trail project to Trust Republic Land. Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Sorry, Brian. And
And
quickly withdraw.
Thank you.
For the Richmond Wellness Trail, we had the site survey performed by our self-consultants, and we are expecting to receive base maps later this week. And in the next 2 weeks, we're preparing to meet on site with project partners and city agencies to talk about the project and feasibility with different aspects of the project. Our expenditures to date are 22,000, and we have 4.7 million left in our budget.
So I learned from e-bicycling library for buffer classes, so I'm going to support you with the text, but if you have any comments, feel free to jump in. So for the work that was completed since last meeting, the operations and maintenance plan was drafted. The scheduled design review board, we scheduled the design review board meeting to start the permitting process. That is going to be on August 7th, if anyone wants to join that meeting. We started working on bidding documents, and the expenditures till now are $63,000. Remaining budget $2.3 million. Plan work in the next 2 weeks. Community outreach at local neighborhood councils and preparing documents for the DRB meeting on August 7th. Anything else that we missed?
Our youth fellows project manager has been hired. They're onboarding tomorrow, and they should be joining us by our next.
Okay. Thank you, Madam. I am going to let Rita do Resilient Homes updates then.
Thank you. So today we have 7 full projects completely installed, both solar and home efficiencies inside the home. In addition to that, we have 12 additional projects for schedule, which means they've all been assessed and just ready to be installed upon. We've been having a few bi-weekly canvassing efforts, and since last we met, we've had about 6 of those bi-weekly canvassing efforts done by our team. Our subcontractor MCE has been in attendance of a Juneteenth Festival, representing the whole project. And in addition to that, in addition to all the projects that have been installed and all approved, they have completed 4 energy efficiency measures since last we met. 15% more clients have been added to the overall project pipeline, so that's just more enlisted clients that will go into the process. Our total expenditures to date are about 150, yeah, $1,415. Remaining budget about $6.8 million in the plan. Working the next week, in addition to more canvassing, we are hosting in partnership with the city of Richmond, a Richmond workshop located at the Civic Center from 5:30 to about 8 on July 29th. And we have invited some local partners as well.
All the members of the public are welcome to join this workshop. So if you want more information, you have flyers in the back of the room for you. I'm gonna let Urban Till give the updates and basins of relations.
Oh, yeah, I'll take it. All right, hello, everybody. So for the Basins of Relations project, work completed since the last meeting. We hired a new community engagement manager, Sheila Lopez, to guide outreach efforts for water conservation projects in the Iron Triangle. We'll also continue to install drip irrigation and gray water recycling systems in the project area. There's been a total of 9 projects that have been completed in the project area to date. Total expenditures, 126,000, remaining in the budget, 1.5 million. Continued work in the next 2 weeks is to continue site visits for homeowners interested in gray water systems and drip irrigation systems, and continuing our outreach door to door and connect with interested homeowners in the project area.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lorena Castillo, and I'm representing around Richmond. So today we planted 25 trees today in our neighborhood. And thank you. What a response. So we've also continued canvassing. One thing I didn't include in the slide is that our green team our summer program, and so they started a couple weeks ago. This is high school age youth that are working with us, and they help us out with the canvassing as well. We do outreach and also do outdoor appreciation, and we have 80 participants this summer, and so they'll be helping to do the canvassing and also get a tree planting demo and helping us plant trees. To date, we've spent about $53,000, and we have about $99,000. $990. You know what I mean. We have and we are scheduled to plant about 20 to 25 trees in the next month or so, and we also are starting to coordinate our Arbor Day event, which will be in October. This is a public event, and we're still trying to finalize the location of the event, and we will be planting trees and inviting volunteers from the community to come and plant with us. So we'll be hearing more about that. Thanks.
Oh, worse, thank you.
Yes. For the ADA accessible garden, our design has continued. Utility service and connection details are being determined. The approach to public art has been discussed and will be presented to the Arts and Culture Commission. This date is to be determined. We also hosted the design unveiling celebration at Unity Park last month. The total expenditures is 32,000. Remaining budget 922,000. And the plan work in the next 2 weeks is to submit our plans to the city for permitting, present final plans to the design review board for approval on August 7th, finalize a report for the unveiling celebration, and also begin drafting up our operations and maintenance for the ADA garden and our letter of commitment of ongoing maintenance after the grant term. And for our Orchard for All project, work completed since the last meeting. We've conducted interviews for our Gleaners Apprentice Training Program this summer. We've published our we finalized onboarding for continued canvas efforts in the project Great Trees from our annual tree giveaway earlier this year. And for Veggie Art Eggs, so some work completed since the last meeting. Our first cohort of trainers graduated. Yeah, shout out to the trainers at Lifelong. We've distributed 280 Veggie Art X programs bags. There's been 5 English and 5 Spanish key classes that have been conducted. There's also been interviews started for our Urban Community health promoters, and we've also implemented cost methodologies for lifelong care to relieve administrative burden. Total expenditures reported to date, 155,000, remaining in the budget of 3 million. Planned work in the next few weeks is to hire 1 or 2 community health promoters, begin working on task 4 readiness requirements, and also begin our draft of the annual summaries and the end of the year report. So about that time, a lot of the projects will be doing that. So yeah, that's it for the ERX. Thanks, y'all.
Well, this is really getting warmer and nicer and lovely. Related to our bike share system in the city, we received the project area function permits last week, which means we got a permit from the engineering team to install the bikes. We finalized the installation of 2 bike pods with the right to date team, and we submitted the 2 deliverables to the strategic growth council, which means we created documents that they require so they can pay the money back to the city. That means all the money from the 75 bikes that were not for the project area and the 5 pods that are now going to be located in the area. We finalized those 5 pods, so now we have them in the neighborhood. The total expenditures to date is $0. We haven't got any money back from the state. We haven't been able, we spent a fair amount of money, more than $300,000, but it's not official yet because we haven't invoiced the state until this draft. So we'll be hearing next month. You will see this project changing a lot in terms of budget because we will be charging for all the installation and costs and we bought on the electric bikes. Remaining budget $998,000. And in the next 2 weeks, there's going to be continued engagement with local communities, attending community meetings and distributing vouchers for community area residents. Salma is right there. Salma, can you raise your hand? If anyone is interested in getting vouchers for community residents who want to use the electric bikes, please reach out to her. She's here to help you figure that out. Can we see your hand? That's how the project manager of the electric bike share system, yeah.
2 questions. The vouchers. Give them out, or do you have to do anything?
So you just sign the voucher form and within 24 hours, your own personal code within either your email.
It doesn't do that, flat out at our events, you know. Can you give me, okay, so then about the cup, we're on the fine, so you.
So we have one outside of the center, we have one at Kaiser, we have 2 at Bart, and then we have, oh, that's one. But, and then we have one at Cutting and Third, and then the most recent one is Marina and Cobb.
What about the one that's go out on Cutting and Center?
This is out there.
It's just moving like you can follow all. Get that insert that.
Thanks for the question, and thanks, Salma. For the community engagement, so, as Mayel was mentioning earlier, the youth, TCC Youth House project manager was hired and onboarded. And the total expenditures reported today are $55,000. The remaining budget is $2.5 million. In the next 2 weeks, we're going to begin developing the Youth Fellows program with newly hired, with the newly hired project manager. And there's going to be a check-in between the city and Rich City Rights team to start collaborating on the community engagement plan that this manager is going to be working on. So we're very excited. She's going to be here on our next meeting, so you can. Displacement avoidance plan. This is a plan that is implemented by the city. We began drafting a request for proposals for affordable housing developers, and we identified the first priority site, which means the areas where this affordable housing will be developed. On the ADU toolkit, we are currently reviewing the permit set. This means we are developing plans, so people who are residents of the project area can get plans for free to build an additional dwelling unit. You will still have to pay for the permitting process. However, you will get the plans for free. And there's three or four different sets of plans, so you can choose in between what type of additional dwelling units you want to build. And for the Buy Local campaign program, we're building out a contract with Blue Dog, which is a company that is helping us to support the local buy campaign. So we're gonna start seeing businesses join the Buy Local campaign in the neighborhood too. Total expenditures $83,000. Remaining budget almost $600,000. When I'm working the next 2 weeks, the CLT policy implementation check-in with the City of Richmond and partnership for the Bay Fellow. So this is a specific type of policy that the city is trying to get in to use the land that is available under city ownership to be useful for construction of affordable housing. To explain it in an easier way, I'm sorry that the words are so complicated in there, but they're very technical, but that's what it means. The city is trying to use the city-owned property to put it out for developers to develop affordable housing. And we also have the Workforce Development and Economic Opportunity Plan, and you're going to hear about this very soon because we have Jennifer joining us today. The City of Richmond started contracting and onboarding with Glenn Price Group, which is presenting today to talk about workforce development and a plan that they're going to be working on. And Great Alternatives is onboarding additional staff that they need to collaborate in this workforce development plan. Total expenditures of today, $6,500. Remaining budget $1.4 million. The plan work in the next 2 weeks is to begin coordinating interviews with Glenn Price Group, and we in the City of Richmond are going to start coordinating meetings for employment and training, so we can start getting ready for the cohort of Richmond builds that it's going to be only people from 20 places, I believe, for residents of the for the project area, which means Coronado, Santa Fe, and Iron Triangle. So we're going to be providing training for residents who are interested in getting new skills for workforce development. And I'm going to let Jason from UC Berkeley do the indicator tracking plan update. Do you need a microphone, Jason?
I think so. What?
No.
Okay, this one? Yeah. Okay. Hi, Jason Corber, UC Berkeley. I'm a professor at School of Public Health and direct the Center for Global Healthy Cities. And we've got a bunch of students and researchers working on the indicator tracking and data collection and evaluation of all of the projects in partnership with all the stakeholders in the city. And yeah, so that's what we're up to. What have we done? Well, we're about to, on Friday, we're going to submit to the city and everyone else our final version of our indicator tracking plan. All of the partners have seen this multiple times. We've done multiple workshops. It's almost a year in the making and we're almost done. Why is it all us? Thank you. We put a lot of work, but most importantly, we've got a lot of input from community partners on making the data collaborative and hopefully meaningful for all of your organizations, and meaningful metrics and indicators to really deliver community improvement. We're also working on and first draft of 2 of our case studies. These are requirements that the state has asked us to develop in partnership with all the projects to highlight people and projects, at least 2 every year. And the first 2 we selected were Veggie RX and ADA Garden. Urban Till, Chito, Our Lady gave us great tours, and we spent some time in the community. We've had folks attending some of the Veggie RX events and instructor events. So that's been really great, and we're learning a lot. And we have a first draft that we're going to share from Veggie RX. We're working on the ADA Gardens one, and that should be our second draft that will hopefully be coming up by our next meeting. And we're continuing to do data collection to support all of you and hopefully not annoy you too much.
Thanks everyone for sharing the updates on your projects. Is anyone from the committee, do you guys have any questions or comments in relationship to the reports that we just read? No? Okay, I'm gonna open up now for public comment. Do we have any questions or public comments? Oh, Lena, you're welcome to raise your hand whenever you want. Everyone is, but I'm just trying to keep some order so we can get everyone participating. Yeah, no, you're welcome. Do you want to ask a question? Well, is this a class?
Yeah.
Thank you. Where are you from?
We're part of the UCSF summer internship program. So we have an internship program where oh, pick up question.
You do want microphone?
Okay, that's good. Yeah, we are, these are the Wi-Fi students, part of UCSF and collaboration with LifeCom and UC Berkeley. And basically they're here to learn more about the community, and Wi-Fi stands for the Youth Participatory and Action Research Program. So essentially, these are youth from Richmond who are looking to research all the community for the community and establish like more like environmental aspects, so have a better community overall.
Fantastic. Well, my name is Brenda Whitmore. My husband is Brenda Whitmore. We're from Santa Fe neighborhood, one of the neighborhoods that the projects are geared towards. So I have a welcome. I have a question about the trees. Yes, the 1,000 new trees. Can you plant trees? I know it's home and streets, but what about the park? If you have a streetscape by your park where you got trees, can you do that kind of work too? Or it has to be just a home within your park?
Yes, we definitely work with the city to do parks and plant trees and parks. When we have large scale community planting opportunities, we usually do them at parks. Last year, our Arbor Day was at Lucas Park. We've also planted at JFK, Bay Vista, Ormond, a lot of various parks.
How can a community like Santa Fe request or suggest a park in the neighborhood that maybe we can use for Arbor Day, or we just have trees planted there? How do you go about doing that?
That's a really good question, and Colin here, he works really closely with the Parks and Rec department, and maybe you can speak to that. But there is a lot of like conversations that have to happen with the city to let us to allow us to plant in their parks. We, there are some issues with planting in fields that are used for like soccer or other various sports, and trees can get in the way of those sports, and so there does have to be a lot of planning and meeting and coordinating to make that happen. But we definitely talk and take your whatever part that.
So you're the person.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. What's your name?
Colin.
Colin. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Do we have any other questions or comments that anyone wants to put out there? So, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate having you here. We're really excited to have young people in the room. Well, if there's no more public comments, I am gonna go just to the committee business items for this session today. So we have 4 items. We have places, workforce development strategy and implementation plan. We have the leverage reporting and strategic growth council annual reporting discussion, and community member nomination and discussion of community engagement updates. I believe this was in a different order on your agenda, so I just wanted to reorganize because we have Jennifer and Rachel joining us remotely to talk about the second item. So I would like to put down a motion for reorganizing the agenda so we can have the people who are joining us to go first, if that's okay with everyone in the committee.
Yeah.
So can I get a motion to shift the agenda? Thank you, everyone. And then if we can do this, I will go ahead and let Jennifer introduce the place-based workforce development strategy and implementation plan development. All of the slides for you if you need. Yeah, or do you want to do it here in the front? However you prefer.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Hill, and I'm with the Fundraise Group. And the reason I'm here today is to introduce you to our small consulting firm, go over the project, give you a little bit of an idea of what the project's going to entail, and then also tap into the expertise of some of the people at this table and in this room to help us understand the type of information we should be looking for, the people we should be talking to, the projects that are already going on, so that we can give you a really strong picture of workforce development opportunities in this project area. So I actually thought I should look up and develop the definition of workforce development because it may not be something that's really common to everyone. So the definition I found is it's the process of identifying and addressing the needs of local workforce to improve productivity and competitiveness. It can include planning, training, and developing policies and educational programs. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So just to start, we are a very small, about 12 people consulting firm. We all work remotely. I'm based in West Sonoma County, so I'm not as familiar with the area, but I'm slowly getting up to speed. I will also be supported by Rosa Guzman, who's an associate with us, and Erin Price, who's our president. Rosa's from this area, but has moved up to Mendocino County, and Erin is in Philadelphia. And for the past about 10 years, GPG has worked with the City of Richmond Employment and Training Department around securing state and federal funding for workforce development, a range of different projects and initiatives. We also supported the Richmond Workforce Development Board local plan. And then more broadly, we've worked with a lot of public and nonprofit organizations doing community assessment and planning. So the goal of the project we're trying to work to facilitate is to develop a place-based workforce development strategy and implementation plan for this transformative climate communities grant focused on the Iron Triangle, Santa Fe, and Coronado neighborhoods. And just to give you a real high-level overview of how we're going to go about doing the work, we've divided it into 3 phases. So first is discovery work, which is sometimes actually my favorite part because it's when we get to learn everything. We get to listen, we do a lot of reading. There's a lot of desk research that will go into it. We'll be tracking some indicators, so I'm interested in seeing what's already happening. And then we also, because we know that data can't tell us everything, we try to identify people who are knowledgeable about the barriers and the opportunities related to workforce development and conduct just informal interviews to learn a little bit more. And then we also will occasionally show up here to try to solicit feedback and ideas from this group. After that, so that's gonna all happen, that's all starting now. And our goal is to wrap it up by October, when we'll have a draft summary of research findings and emerging recommendations. And then we're going to work with a group of interest holders. We're still figuring out how to manage the invitations to that, but to do some strategic planning and come up with sort of some priorities for the first year around workforce development. And then in the last phase, we'll produce a final report with all of this information. And then we will come back in April and check on the progress and see how things are going and see if anything needs to be changed in the plan. And meanwhile, the whole time we'll just be doing project management and facilitation. So the reason I'm here today really is to get your help. I can help you with that. I'm an ex-kindergarten teacher, but I haven't written on a board for a long time, so please forgive my writing. What we want to get at is we want to hear digital thoughts about current job or workforce development projects and initiatives that are already happening. So some of them are represented around this table, I believe. And then also, any people or organizations that you think we need to talk to who are going to really have a deeper understanding of some of the barriers for employment and some of the opportunities that they see. So I'm going to start by asking the committee and then also the public for any ideas you might have. No bad ideas.
Yeah, so I think it's a great, do I have to use the microphone?
Yeah, if you want to. So public can hear too.
Yeah, I think it's a great initiative. I would just, I know this is the exact right question to ask. There's been a lot of really good work done by nonprofits and community or other organizations and small businesses in this area. And I would hate for you to do like some national employment, what's the worst state of the global workforce?
Yeah.
Without really being very grounded in the neighborhood and in Richmond. So I strongly encourage you to look at, instead of asking what are the gaps, ask first, again, a suggestion of what's working here in Richmond in terms of youth and job innovation and job creation from, work that folks around this table are doing to the Rise Center to Pogo Park.
Say that again, Rise Center?
Rise Center, yeah, I mean, you should know about all these amazing organizations, RYSE, GRID, and the green job creation. I mean, this is one of the leading places in the United States for green job creation. I don't think you need to go do a global scan on should we do green job creation in Richmond. It's already happening between these folks, Richmond Build, Youth Build. I mean, these are city programs that have won major awards. So again, just from my academic perspective, we always ask, what are the gaps? What's the gap analysis? And I would encourage you to flip that on your head and say, what is already working here? And can we go deeper into the 5 to 7 to 10 organizations that are successful in hiring local people, creating jobs, creating small businesses? And then the last thing I'll say is, just look around, see if I saw anybody from Kaiser. Healthcare obviously is a huge workforce. We've got great partners here with some of the clinics, but we've got a major elephant in the community called Kaiser. And, you know, to really dig deep to why and how are they training and supporting local people from Richmond High and the education system into the healthcare workforce, multiple kinds of healthcare workforce from promoters or community health workers all the way to, you know, PAs and everything else. I mean, so I think there's a lot that's already gone on here and a lot of knowledge that I don't think you need to start from a traditional, what do we need here?
Absolutely, and I believe we were brought in to more synthesize all the information that's out there because there is so much. So just for the sake of these three neighborhoods. So that's really gonna be our job. It's not looking nationally for examples or gathering national or state data. That's all been done. We just want to focus specifically on this project area. Anybody else? Do you want to say anything about grid alternatives?
Yes, we have, in addition to installing solar and promoting renewables necessary, one of our missions is really focused on workforce development and have been doing it for several years, like more than close to 10 years, like successfully. In fact, I actually began my tenure at Grid as the workforce development manager. COVID happened and things changed. But we have been in partnerships as well with some of the people that Jason could have named, and mainly two which are very noteworthy to even put up there, as he said, are Richmond Bill and Future Bill as well. And so Grid's model has always been to, for one, we have a training program which we have pretty much fine-tuned, and in several of our locations, we have 6 offices in California, but in several of our locations, we've implemented our IBT 200 program installation basics training program. And it's basically a stem from a volunteer sort of setup that we had that literally years ago, anyone who from off the street could have walked into our offices and found out about our volunteer training weekends that we used to do, and get very valuable skills, very transferable skills that, for example, one day of working with us made you ready for an apprenticeship with a local installer. And we have, since our inception, like formed relationships with other local installers and other workforce development nonprofits and the like, and we champion that. So what has made us successful in partnerships with folks like Rising Sun, but also Rising Sun Center for Opportunity, but also Swords to Plowshares, Goodwill Industries, and the like. And that's our model. So one part, we train when we can, but a lot of the recruitment that we do is working with fellow job training organizations that provide us cohorts that we train for anywhere from a minimum of like an 8-hour day up to a comprehensive 2-week program that they not only learn solar, but they not only learn solar in the classroom, they also have an opportunity for on-the-job training on live jobs, which helps our bottom line.
And is Plowshares and Goodwill Industries, are they located in this, in close to the neighborhood?
Yeah, they serve.
Okay.
They serve. They have multiple offices as well. There's Rubicon as well, RU, BICON, and the like, and and not trying to reinvent the wheel, but also just give strength to the strong so that they can be a lot more effective, has been how we've been successful with our workforce model.
And I think one of our goals is to lift up what's working and be able to highlight that and hopefully come up with strategies with this group for how to accelerate that, how to make it go. Anybody in the public have any ideas of, job training or workforce development projects you've heard about? Yeah. I'm familiar with something called the Coach Growth Institute. I don't know if you're familiar, you can Google it. And they have, kind of an emergent way to think about this with regard to matching what they refer to as offers and needs. And I just wonder, given the emergence, everything happening in this wonderful project area, if there's a way for you to examine the needs of the transformative climate communities project and then solicit offers from the community that may or may not be a perfect alignment to their work experience, but it could be their lived experience, and then see what matches there. And that's pretty much what the Pace Growth Institute is trying to do as, we move forward. So I think it'd be worth looking at. Anybody else? Even, it might be awkward in this public forum a little bit, but any specific people we should talk to. Somebody's been doing this work for 20 years and they know everything. If not, we'll find them. I'm looking, but. All right. Well, thanks for helping us get started. As I mentioned, we're really done getting started. Very excited for this project. Very excited to meet all of you, and I'll be seeing you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. We're gonna continue. This is Jennifer's contact information in case you want to reach out to her. If you think of any other organizations or contacts that you want her to have for the informational interviews, that's her email. And this is gonna be included in the presentation that we upload, so you can look it up afterwards on our website. I also have cards. And then when our has cards, if anyone needs a card from her. So we're going to go to the next item, which is leverage reporting and strategic growth council annual reporting discussion. For the members of the public, I apologize because this is going to be a very technical presentation related to how we report to the state. We have to do this every year. So just so you know, this is just for us to coordinate how the response to the state is going to go. So we put it here out in the public. Are also welcome to join the conversation. We don't find this as interesting as the rest of the topics that we just discussed today. We just wanted to make you aware of that. And we have our consultant for places, Rachel Jacobson, joining us to present on this topic today. Rachel, are you able to unmute yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm not able to turn on my video, but a big wave hello to everyone. Can we go to the next slide, please? Great. So today we're going to talk about an overview of the annual report, which has 3 parts: a progress report, a leverage report, and an equipment report. And then we'll have plenty of time for questions. Sorry, it's asking me to confirm my speaking language. Before we go to this slides, just want to reiterate what Beatrice said, that this is part of, you've heard a little bit about the bi-monthly reporting that is part of the invoicing and regular communication with the grantor for this effort. And this is our this is looking at some slightly different things that we report on once a year. Next slide. So I'm with PlaceWorks. We're a 100% employee-owned planning, design, and environmental consulting firm. You can read a little bit more about us. We've been supporting the city of Richmond on the application, the post-award consultation process, and the first year of implementation on the grant. I work just about every day with Beatrice and Matthias and with a lot of the project partners in the room. And an intern with PlaceWorks, Amanda, is also on the call and is going to be taking notes about some of our discussion today so that we can fulfill our action items after this meeting. So annual reporting, as I said, has 3 parts. Every year, we're going to have to do this. We will compile and submit annual reports for the year that we are just concluding, which the grant year is August to July, just to be a little off kilter with every other fiscal year and calendar year out there. Part 1 is the progress report. This consists of answering some narrative questions focused on success stories and lessons learned, and looking at challenges and areas of improvement for partners, for support roles, and for the grant making agency. And also to report new leverage sources. I'll tell you a little bit more about leverage in a minute for those who don't know. But if we got more money to support our projects, we note that in the progress report, the annual progress report. And in the leverage funding report, leverage is additional funds that have been committed. It's not match funds, it's other funding for our project. So you got a grant here, you got a grant there, and then the TCC grant, this grant that we're part of here, filled that final thing. So with those 3 grants, you have enough money to do your project. So the granting agency, the Strategic Growth Council, wants to know about how you're spending those other funds. It's to demonstrate an additional investment in the project area, and our commitment is to report to expend 50% of the grant amount in leverage funding. So that's another 17.5 million into the project area. So we will report on how much we spent for each leverage funding source that has already been identified. And there's a whole bunch more about that. And then the equipment inventory report. This only applies to items that cost more than $5,000 each that have been purchased with TCC funds. To date, no Richmond Rising budgets have these equipment purchases, so that'll be a short section. So for the progress report, it's really just 6 questions, and I'm going to bring up each slide, and we want to hear from you, project leads and anyone else who has something to contribute on what answers might be. And then, so at the end, Placeworks will summarize your answers and compile them and send them around for your review before they're submitted as part of the annual reporting in August. Question 1, what major grant milestones have we completed in the last year?
And just to support Rachel, anyone in the community is welcome to provide feedback. These are the joint questions that we have to respond to, and so everyone is welcome to add what are the things that you want to include in that report. So feel free to jump in, Jason.
Yeah, hi Rachel. I actually have a process question before I get into this important question, which is that when we reviewed the progress reports from other TCC grantees around the state, the progress report is primarily it's got a lot of indicators, and I'm wondering what's the difference between this progress report part 1 and the annual indicator and tracking.
I think I heard the question. It was, what's the difference between the bi-monthly progress reporting and the annual progress report? No, can someone repeat the question, please? Or Beatrice, if you want to answer, go ahead. I couldn't hear fully.
Jason was asking if the progress report, the annual report is the same that the indicator reporting that they do. And the answer is no, but Rachel, feel free to jump in. There's 2 different types of reports. One is for the indicators, and this is a different reporting that the state requires partners to respond to. This does not include indicators. That's a separate reporting process, and it has even separate dates. Rachel, is that correct? Do you have any additional information in relationship to that?
Yeah, the annual progress report is literally these 6 reflection questions that we're about to do now and a list of new leverage sources, and that's it. It's very high level, experiential, you know, a chance for the project partners to reflect on the year.
Separate to an indicator tracking plan. So it's a separate report.
Thank you.
Anyone who wants to jump in on what mayor milestones have we completed in the last year?
Are we answering this question right now?
Yeah.
Just to make sure that you guys have like we make sure that we include the projects that you want. We're gonna do a review of all the progress reports that we have submitted to the state and pick from there, but they want major milestones. So we're open to just hear what you want to see in there.
Well, I'm getting one that, and I was listening to, all this, well, the speaking to, Ireland, and I'm on the board speaks to him. But what I was getting out of this major milestone for everyone is that the training that we have a high dropout rate at 8th grade. You know, the kids are not getting math skills. California has taken off one of the major curriculum math skills, which is algebra. Okay. Now, for this to be successful, back in the day, we used to have woodshop, metal, train occupation. And this money can reach the children on a middle school basis where they can have programs where they sign them up and then they have a goal focused career. A lot of kids are not going to college, or they might need extra help in that. But this right here is the disparity squeeze out. I'm just listening to this. I said, forget the money for the people. But then it's not for people. It's like in politics. Like double-edged sword here. You know, non-speaking English people, immigrants, where do they fit? And then someone comes in and they have a better education or a better living situation where they can just come right in and participate and get these solar training down. So you're going to have to start somewhere and put that money where it counts. And then watch that group grow through the system. Right.
Do we have any other feedback from partners?
Is it just individual projects or like as a group?
General, it can be general, or it can be specific projects. It depends on what you want to get included in here.
I would say starting these community meetings, major.
Okay. Rachel, I don't know if you heard this, but Brandon was mentioning having community meetings as one of the milestones.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rachel.
When we're talking, there's these table mics, so when we're talking to Rachel, the microphone, the speaker doesn't really catch the table mics as well, so I know there's like a lot going on here, but it would be helpful to try to
Get
do that as well, yeah. But you did seem to hear that.
Yeah, I think another significant milestone as a group, as projects here was our kickoff that we had. I think that was
Yeah.
so definitely I can see that highlighted.
This can include individual project accomplishments too. It doesn't only have to be the collective things. Both are valuable. You know, I would say like Basins of Relations completing a training cohort. You know, that was huge.
Yeah, for sure.
I can go next. We also hired the first meeting member to the CSC last month, and I thought that was a major, really important milestone to include. For the Richmond Wellness Trail, we went through the RFP process and the selection of a landscape architect, and we also kicked off the project. So I think that's also a pretty major milestone for our project.
Did you want to? Oh.
We did select the community members that were nominated last time as well. So we've had a couple of applicants that are interested, and we've selected some folks for the community.
Brenda, did you hear that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and we're gonna open this questions and send you a draft of what we consider are the major milestones that were completed. But we just wanted to open this to the whole team, so you are part of the response. And Rachel, is it okay that we go into questions too, so people know what
Yes.
What the questionnaire is gonna look like? What other success stories can you share from the project area?
The basic grant, you want to say?
Matthias was mentioning the AC grant that was provided to the community development department, $40 million for affordable housing that is also going to be built outside of Barn, Metro. And the CRC grant, $10 million for Focal Park for the Brazilian Community Center funding that was received. All of this is happening in the project area. It's not related to TTC, but it's complementary to the work that is being done. Does anyone else have anything that you want to share? We'll give you time to process this and provide more answers. This is going to be a shared document, but we wanted to make it open for all the partners, but also for community members. If you know of other stories in the community that are successful that you want to highlight, we would be happy to include them. So if you have anything else that you want to share, we're happy to open the space for you too. Rachel, do you want me to continue with the next question, or what do you want to say?
Yeah, we can move on. I know everyone has answers to this one. What challenges have we experienced while implementing?
I think it got cut a little bit, but what challenges have we experienced while implementing the grant? And this is mostly for partners, and it might be a good time for community members to know what we have been dealing with funds from the state, which are amazing amount of money, but also amazing amount of work related to get this implemented. Does anyone want to share anything?
Can you hear me, Rachel?
Give me your mic. Yeah.
Well, one challenge is centered around inflation has just been in implementing some of the projects, finding just barriers in terms of so for the Union Homes team in particular, just items like the housing stock, which we are upgrading with energy efficiency projects, inclusive of solar. The ages of the age of the housing, like for instance, we had homes in Richmond in particular, Richmond being a post World War II housing community in a sense. A lot of homes have been built some time ago, and so some of the work that we're doing is counting barriers to that and the costs. sometimes, or exceed, just what our projections have been and the like. But the upside of that is it's helped us find solutions, and that has led us to find some other leverage funding for that and the like, and just be creative in working with that. That also, translating the work that we're doing to, some of the residents themselves, and overcoming barriers that they may have encountered with, other entities which may have promised what we're offering, and being disappointed by that. And so it's a lot of education, it's a lot of re-education around what is, available and the like. And again, the upside of the barriers just, inform our process more, so that we then take different approaches to meeting our goals. Anyone else?
Thank you. Cheryl, Cheryl. It's on. Okay. Hey, Rachel, this is Lorena from Groundwork. And one of the challenges that I kind of spoke about at our last meeting has been just trying to streamline our community outreach, because we're all doing projects in the same neighborhoods. And a lot of us are doing canvassing, like going door to door. So how do we streamline it so that we don't exhaust the residents? And with like flyers or even just solicitation, going door to door. And so figuring out ways to streamline that so that we don't exhaust our residents and they stop answering the door.
Which we love.
Sorry.
You can have the microphone, Trinity.
Yeah. This one's closer.
Yeah.
You sure?
Gonna say invoicing.
I have to say, one of the challenges that we have faced is figure out how we can include community within the conversations. For example, see for the collaborative stakeholder community meeting like today, childhood was a really challenging thing to get, and we know this is something that we wanted for community members to be able to attend, and we finally have it. But it took us a long period of time to figure out how could we get insurance for kids to be able to be taken care of? That's really expensive. How could we get staff from our own team who was prepared to work with kids that was available and that we could work with because we were understaffed? So there were a lot of challenges, and I think it's not only with the city of Richmond. I think this is a challenge for a lot of government and agencies that are not prepared to support their communities in the way that they need, and we need to shift that. We need to shift regulation within government to be able to address the needs of community members, and that doesn't only have to do with childcare, but like interpretation, translation of documents. We don't have staff, for example, who speak Chinese or Tagalog, and I think that's a challenge for us internally, because we would like to have full interpretation and translation, but we still are not there yet. So we appreciate what we have currently in terms of being able to offer to community members, but I think we're not there yet to be as inclusive as we would like to be. And this is just an open conversation if you figure out like how this could be better approached. But resources are limited, and the number of languages that we add to the list of document and interpretation duplicates or triplicates the budget requirements that we have. So that's also the challenge that we have faced while dealing with trying to be as inclusive and as equitable as we can. Can we move on?
We can move on. I think I can think of other challenges that have come up over the past year, but we'll let people kind of marinate on that and add them in future drafts. What lessons have we learned this past year? This is particularly to help other folks who are in the same boat, people who might be considering getting into this boat, or the state who is like, okay, here's a boat, go across an ocean. You know, to implement their projects and the program. What would you tell someone? What have you learned this year?
I can share.
Oh.
So, doing capital projects, I think readiness requirements were a little bit difficult to meet because as a part of the project, we really wanted to include a lot of community engagement. And so fitting in processes like construction documentation before or after doing extensive community engagement, it's kind of hard to fit within that 1 year readiness requirement. That's part of this grant. So that I think is a good lesson learned for other capital projects that it's a pretty tight timeline, although they probably already know going into the application process.
Anyone else? Lessons learned?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a lesson that I've learned, just realizing when these work plans were drafted up was probably like 3, maybe 4 years ago. And, you know, living in the Bay Area, how the cost of living increases almost feels like every month. But yeah, just like noticing in our work, when we had planned and wanted to hire coordinators, you know, they were starting at 1850. And, you know, 4 years later, you know, Urban tells us like, you know what, we're going to pay folks $20 an hour no matter what. And so, you know, now we're digging into, you know, contingency costs and things like that. Well, not yet, but, you know, we will. And so I don't know how you can implement for future grants where like you're revisiting that work plan and maybe up to date pay rates and things like that, and you know, cost estimates, because yeah, and every year everything's getting way more expensive. And so I think keeping that in mind in the future for sure.
My name is Nigel. I haven't done a lot in the past year. I worked in the city county in San Francisco. And I really want to apologize for what it takes to stepping up here to make a difference in your city and what is done with funds here. Because outside the city council, things that happen in the city is left up to you. You know, we have to take ownership. You know, I actually drive community, which is a city county job, and people are always complaining about the transportation, you know, the ridership, and things like that, right? Out there, a lot of people don't pay, and it's all for open policy, but, you know, as a community, you know, realize they control where the bus stops are at, how frequently the bus runs, you know, what buses are in service, what buses aren't. So I just wanted to, you know, to speak personally, I've learned a lot within the, you know, last few years. In you know, the way just how to put myself out there and you know, what I contribute, you know, what I contribute to life, what I'm putting out there is, you know, a representation of not only who I am, but, you know, the city, and because, you know, San Francisco, they built, you know, a lot of people not, you know, we want to be the light wherever we go. That's all I say.
Thank you. Anyone else on lessons learned in the past year? If anyone else from the public wants to join it, you're also welcome.
I'll take it.
Oh, and that's.
While I've seen this project definitely strategize around communication and bring that out to the community as such. Definitely really focusing in on the plan for communications, to just outpacing communications to the public in terms of the aims of the project, and maybe providing a little bit more information specifically about the partners and the works that they've done. Because just in these meetings alone, we've definitely had people come in and really inquire in depth of like, well, so you're gonna install solar, so you're gonna plant trees, when, where, how, and why, and have you consulted other expertise that they have, in the community has had, that in some cases we've consulted, in some other cases it was some new discoveries and the like. And communication is power and can really be the bridge to just disconnect and also be like a secret ingredient to just like greater support and the like. And you know, no shade, not to take away from any of the remarkable work that we've done and the wonderful projects that we have. And in an area as political as the Bay Area, and in a city that has had so many changes and upliftment as Richmond that I've seen in my 20 years here. Just really almost being committed to even upping the ante on how much the information is made public. Is that's another barrier that we've seen too, that sometimes people say, well, we don't know you, or we don't know you do that. That's it.
Thanks, Anderson. I'm gonna go to the next question. Have we had any issue when working with the technical assistant providers for program evaluation consultants? Rachel, you are welcome to add information in relationship to this.
Yeah, just that if you, sorry, there's feedback. If you have any feedback that you don't feel comfortable sharing in this venue, feel free to email Beatrice directly and let them know.
Just for your information of the partners and the people who are here, our technical assistant providers is split. Just but clarifying this question, and program evaluation consultants will be the UC Berkeley team. I know we're not going to hear much from this question, so I'm just going to do the last one. Rachel, go ahead. I'll let you close.
Yeah, do we have any concerns related to administering the grant or working with the state?
No, not really. Not that I can think of right now.
And for resilient homes in particular, quick answer is no, and for that in particular, I feel in presenting certain barriers that we've encountered to the grantor, at least, I feel we were heard and are in the process of even ameliorating it where we can. So, but not any great concerns than working with any other state or agency alike.
Thanks, Elisa. And just for the rest of the partners in the public, we have been working with Grid Alternatives and MCE to try to change the state's guidelines to be able to fund roof repairs and other expenses to be able to support every homeowner who
is able to get the program because of their income, but their housing is either pretty old or their roofs are not in good condition, which increases the cost of the project. And that has been a challenge for a lot of residents to be able to access the solar panels or the energy efficiency measures. So that's what Embeds is providing this feedback, and we've been working with the state to try to change their guidelines so Richmond can support more residents, even with the aging of the housing and with the current condition of their housing status.
Yes.
Did I?
Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay, Rachel, I'm gonna let you continue with what's next.
Great, thank you. Thanks everyone for your contributions to those questions. If you think of other things, please email me or Beatrice or Matthias, and we'll add those to the draft. Before we actually switch to going over leverage reporting, there is this part of the progress report. Nope, sorry, you were on the right slide. Great. There is this part of the progress report where we have to note our new leverage sources. So you can add information to the table in the there's a document in our folders that I will send the link to in my follow-up email from this meeting to the project leads, or you can email to the TCC team what your project number is, the funding source. We got a new grant. Who gave you that grant? The amount committed, how much was it for? The dates committed, when can you spend it? Can that not start till 2025? Have you been spending it for all of 2024? Is it 6 months? Is it 5 years? Tell us about how long you have to spend that. And then a description of the new investment, or where it says here description of a project or the leverage project, that would be like the Community Resilience Center for Pogo Park or the ASIC grant. Those are separate leverage projects that the City of Richmond team will enter on our charts here. Next slide, please. So the leverage funding report. I think all of the project partners have been given a primer on leverage funding, what we're looking for, and what we're expecting of you. So this is really just an introduction to the specific steps we're going to take to complete the leverage funding report by August 15th. So we're going to report expenditures on leveraged funding sources. The table that you'll need to fill out is pre-populated with the leverage sources that were identified at the time of grant execution. It looks, you can see at the bottom there, grantee has some City of Richmond in kind. The community engagement plan has also some City of Richmond in kind and some BEA fund. So those will want to know how much money was spent, when it was spent, and a document that shows that it was spent. Let's go to the next slide and talk more about that. For new leverage sources, you'll add a row so that the leverage is grouped with your project's other leverage sources. You'll add the amount spent. The spending period is from the date of grant award, which is October 27th, 2022, up through the end of the first grant year, which is July 31st, 2024. So for accounting simplicity, I would say you count from November 2022. And please enter a 0 if you haven't put anything in there, if you haven't spent any of the funds for that leverage source yet, so that we know that you have completed the report for that item. You'll add the date spent. It could be a full or partial reporting period. If the project spending is in progress, it's maybe you got the grant is for 2024 to 2026. You'll list the end date as the end of this reporting period, July 31st, 2024. If it's leverage funding that you spent all of it already, it'll be from November 2022 to say you spent it down at the end of 2023, you'll put December 2023. For supporting documentation, we'll ask you to upload this to a folder. The link to the folder will be in the follow-up email. A document must be provided for each leverage source unless you didn't spend any funds. Acceptable documents are a signed letter or memo, and we've provided an example or a template as a Word doc and a PDF, and we'll go over that next. You can submit other grant agreements or reports or invoices. If you have another grant that is supporting your project and you already have to bill them for, to get reimbursed for that grant, or you have to submit a report that includes your spending, you can submit those reports as your leverage documentation. Or you can submit financial documents like a QuickBooks report that tracks a specific grant and the spending against the total in the time period. Any document, one more thing before we go on. In the document, you'll need to make sure that it includes the dates the work was completed, the name of the leverage funding source, what the leverage funding was spent on, and confirmation that it was spent, such as a signed letter from the executive director or a QuickBooks report. So here's what a sample leverage letter could look like. We have marked it up and highlighted the parts you have to fill in. It should be signed by someone who can sign on behalf of your organization. It should clearly come from your organization on your letterhead. And make sure it has your project number and name on it. And then you can do one letter for all of your leverage sources if this is the best way to provide documentation for your leverage sources. And so it should have the source, the date, and the totals, and it should have a signature. I think that's it. Yeah. Are there any questions about leverage reporting before we go on? Okay, great. Equipment inventory report. This will also be due August 15th, 2024, if it applies to anyone. Are there any purchases of an individual item that costs more than $5,000 has been purchased and used TCC funds from an approved budget item? I'm not sure if you all can still hear me. All right.
We will have to provide this information on August 15. That's our internal deadline for you to report on leverage. And last but not least, if there's anything that we need to report on the equipment part, which only applicable for now to the e-register system, we'll do an equipment report. But that's basically it. The only thing you have to remember is deadline August 15. You'll receive an email with all the instructions. But we wanted to open this to you and to the public because we also wanted people to know what we're working on and how much of our times are consumed by reporting. Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
So being that we're reporting from October of 2022, the funds from the PAC process are.
Rachel, I think we have you back. If you want to unmute yourself and ask questions, feel free to do so.
I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying that, you can unmute yourself to hear and start the questions if anyone has questions. Does anyone have any questions related to all the, presentation that we had? No. Anyone from the public, Salma, go ahead. Oh, no. Anyone else from the public, any questions in relationship to this reporting? We know this was a burden because it's a lot of documents and reports that we have to fulfill, but this is state requirement, so we just had to go through this. Do we have any questions in the back? No. If you want to have the state brand, this is what you have to go through, just so you know. Okay, Rachel, it seems that nobody has any questions. Do you want to add anything to the end of the presentation? Please feel free to do so.
Thank you, everyone, for your attention, and project partners. I'll look forward to working with you on getting all your leverage source documentation in. Bye.
Bye.
Rachel.
Just for everyone to know, in this group, we added all the leverage sources in here for your use internally, so to remind you what are the sources that we're committed within the grant. This is available for the public too, but just so the project please know, this is included in the presentation, and you'll find it in there. I don't want to go again over that because everyone has their own funding sources, but it's available in here. And the next item on our agenda is the community seat nomination. And we want to let you know that there's 2 applications that we received. We wanted to open this conversation for probably our next meeting, but we wanted to do more outreach, so we want to have more time to discuss the processes. I just wanted to ask if any of the people who applied for the community seats is here.
No, Alma.
But are they physically here? Do we have any of the community members who applied to be the part of the committee, the larger stakeholder committee? Is there anyone here who applied? No? Okay. We just wanted to give people the opportunity to present themselves if they were part of the application process. But we want to check in with you if it's okay that we gather a couple more of applications. The reason that we are proposing this is we got applications that are very, very small. We didn't have a lot of description from the community members who applied, and we want to interview them or ask them to provide more information because they just gave us their names and like very general information. And I think a big part of why we want community members to be part of this committee is because they can also they're also interested in the process and they want to be involved. And part of that was being part of this meeting, and that's why we wanted to open it. Is it okay if we gather more applications and discuss the community nomination or all the applications that we have on the next meeting? Or do you want us to discuss? We have only 2, right? But we only have the names of the people and.
So we have the name, we have like 1 sentence from that.
Yeah, so we can read it and we're happy to do that. We just wanted to discuss with you. Yeah.
So I know last meeting, we approved a community member, so when do they actually start like sitting with us?
They were supposed to start today.
Oh, okay.
However, they weren't able to be here today. So Tomasa, we met with her yesterday. We did an recording where we provided all the documents that you received at the beginning, the bylaws, all the rules that the community has. We provided her with all the minutes of the previous meetings, all the presentations. So she has all that. We provided her with everything in Spanish because she prefers Spanish to review all the documents. And she will be here starting next week.
And just so that you know, she would have been here, but the rent board also got rescheduled to this week.
Yes.
So that's what.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, she's also part of the rent board meeting, so she wasn't able to be here because she had another commitment.
Can I say one more thing? Absolutely. I did want to invite the youth that are here today. We have a seat available for youth. Tuesday. So we want for, you're here today, you're taking time to be here tonight. So
We love your participation moving forward, and if you are interested, I did see applications over there.
Free food.
We have.
The other thing that we want to say is we would love to have your input at this table, but also it's a decision. So you get paid $50 per meeting that you have attended, and it's a position that we value because we're interested in your input. So feel free to reach out. The application is also online, so you can get it on our website, or you can get it physically in here, and let us know if you're interested. We're happy to work with you to support you on the application process. I'm gonna then just propose a motion for voting on a community seat nomination on our next meeting, where we have more applications and when we can actually contact the current applicants to provide more information about themselves. That was the reason that we didn't bring more too much to the group today, because we thought we needed more work on this, and we will really appreciate if you can help us with engagement. That would be the other part. But I propose a motion for reviewing this on the next meeting, if that's okay. So can I get a,
Second.
thank you. And can we get a voting, YouTuber for, voting for,
Motion?
the community seat nomination, getting transferred for the next meeting?
Yes,
Yes.
approved.
Yes.
Yes, there's a good alternative, CPL, from Richmond, and city rights, for Richmond. Thanks, everyone. We are moving this item for the next meeting and hoping that we have more applications and support our partners to get more applicants in the process.
The community seats, do they have to reside in the project area?
Yes, we need people to be residents of the project area. They can also be business owners or students of the project area. Those are the three options.
Do they have their own business or can they work on?
Work their own, yeah. Thanks for the question. And the last item on our agenda for today is community engagement update. And we had a discussion in our meeting of May regarding individual and collective engagement practices, and following up on Morena's concern about how we do a more collective engagement for avoiding fatigue within the community on how we reach out to community members. So this is just an open item for discussion, and we're also open to hear from the public. But I want to put this out within this group. Are there any specific individual or collective engagement pieces that we want to work on? And we had a conversation with Fred about sending a new postcard. And this is something that we're discussing. This is not a decision, but we wanted to put it on the table, and Mbessa, Alejandro, and me had a conversation last week to see if it's something that you're interested in on sending postcards to residents of the project area, and what exactly do we want to communicate in that process. And yeah, I'm just opening the discussion for all the community members.
And to add context to it.
Okay, I did not hear you.
Someone hands been raised.
Oh.
Sorry.
No worries.
Is it okay if I just open it to the people here, and then I'll pass it to the public, if that's okay? Sorry about that. I didn't see the hand.
All right, real quickly. So to provide some context, in Grid's partnership with the city of Richmond for the past few years has been just a really great one. This is the best city that Grid Alternatives, a big area, works with. And one example of engagement we have is so the workshop that for those of you who came early, for those who haven't, we're doing a workshop on July 29th, basically to open up the community, to tell them about our services and the like, our projects, and also be able to sign people on site. And what makes that successful, we've been having joint mailers each of the years that we have had for this workshop and the like, and then just exploring ways to reach out to the community more. The Resilient Homes team, like MCE, have taken upon ourselves to basically create a web page that can be appended to a website, or maybe by a link or on it and the like. But just as an opportunity to really on-ramp the community so that when they actually come to the website per se, and they see us, they can see, okay, the specific work that we're doing. And the reason why we're doing that is to demystify the process, because it just makes outreach a lot better when people know what we're offering. And on the heels of that, we've been in discussion and trying to find a way to gather our information and do that mailer out to the community. And just so that we can be a lot more identifiable, we can be a lot more present in this community. Urban Tilt is like a great example that we're trying to follow, like in terms of being visible in Richmond life and sending out a postcard or and just other correspondence we feel would be a lot more effective in reaching that.
I'm gonna pass the microphone.
Thank you. First of all, myself, my name is Richmond. I am a student with Academy. I just want to let you guys know that we have like a little idea of creating an Instagram account for things that are aspects of the Richmond community. And we could also spread the word about like organizations that a lot of people could be interested in, but they don't know about. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Curtis, right? And hi, my name is Curtis Rice. And we just graduated or finished becoming climate health promoters. Well, thank you so much. Anyway, you were speaking about media, and I think that anytime you start talking, especially this day and age, you start talking about educating media, any type of media, whether it's printed, whether it's spoken or whatever, it's an asset. The other thing that I would say too is that if you planted on doing mailers, I think that a good idea would be to also, in your mailer, for example, if I want to come to your site, then you would also incorporate some AI that you would have, where they would talk about the various activities that goes on, the various plans, the various activities that you have to offer. So I think the implementation of AI is a good way to reach people.
I recently had the pleasure of going to North Richmond Farm. And I just wonder, is there anything in the project area that is akin to the beautiful visions that are displayed on this big placard? Because I think that really brought vision to life for me when I was looking at it.
Anyone else in the table, partners who wanna provide any feedback related to engagement practices?
Have we included the texting, you can like also text people?
We haven't, but that was actually one of the things that I asked from the city, that we wanted a text banking system. Yeah, not there yet, but we'll try to get it.
Okay, so if we are gonna do a mailing or a poster, is it okay if we start drafting that and then you an example, and we'll work with placement team to make that happen, so we can figure out what are the things that you would like to include in there, and we can start with that at least. And I don't know if a poster could be enough. We are looking to get something that is larger, where you can get maybe images
was mentioned earlier, or something else, like let's think what we wanna mail, and maybe it's more like a magazine style where each of us get a page of the information. I mean, it's gonna be more expensive, but I think probably more like a catalog style.
That'd be nice. You can't put that.
Mm.
QR codes on a postcard.
Yeah, it's very small.
Yeah, we should do a newsletter. Richmond Rising newsletter.
I just wondered if you, looked at doing outreach to schools in the area at all, because I know, like, as a parent, kids are pay a lot more attention. I can.
Reach out to Viper.
Yeah, thanks for that feedback. We're actually we're getting ready for us to get into schools. We cannot access schools till we get, background checks, and we started talking with, teachers about this. So yeah, we started connection with schools at the end of the school year. So right now we're a little stuck because we have to get people back into the classrooms to be able to get, our background checks and all those things. But yes, I really believe that's a really great way of doing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yes, I want to say. And we have email, most, if not all of the schools for middle school and high school in the project area. But the timing is bad because the summer started, so, we haven't got a lot of response from that, but we are definitely a part of our plan, as well as faith organizations, businesses.
So I want to acknowledge that it's 7:55. So I know this was the last item on our agenda, and I want to ask members of the committee if there's any agenda requests that we have for our next meeting.
I don't have any agenda requests, but it is a conversation that I'd like to bring up for the next meeting. In the event of me not being here and maybe other project leads not being able to be here, I'm just trying to figure out what our system or protocol will be for that. Like, can I nominate someone else from our projects to represent here at the table, or I just wanted to bring that conversation forward.
Thank you, Cheeto. Cheeto and me are not gonna be here, and then next meeting, I'm gonna be on vacation. Matthias is gonna sit on my place, but in case of Cheeto's absence, I don't think Nathan or Sheila can be here either, so is the rest of the committee okay with them nominating a new member, or would you like them to be absent? Is that okay if they nominate a new person for being here?
Yes.
Can we vote on that?
Yes.
You wanna make a move?
Fantastic. Yeah, this motion that everyone voted in favor, so we're good.
Second, we have.
Okay, Jason seconded the motion and we voted, in favor.
Is that like the protocol we have to do? So like, if I know I'm gonna be absent, I have to nominate.
No.
Oh, this is my case. It's quite unique because our leads also can be here. So there's like two other folks, and so then we would need to bring you guys someone else. Oh, okay, cool.
Oh.
All right, cool. Okay, right on. So Shen will be here the next meeting. So.
Okay, forget about, Okay, I'd like to nominate you. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
I would also like to nominate another person to replace me for next month's meeting, if that's okay.
I will second.
Thank you.
Approve.
Okay, so, for agenda request purposes, do we have any other item that we want to discuss in the next meeting? Just to remind you, Neighborhood Complete Streets is gonna be here next meeting. They're gonna be organizing a town hall, so we're gonna have a lot of more community members, and they're gonna present on what's the Neighborhood Complete Streets project gonna be about, and they're gonna be doing outreach with neighborhood councils and a lot of other community members, just so you know, and that might take a fair amount of the time of the next meeting. And last but not least, are there any general announcements that you want to provide? Events that are happening, Mesa and the city already talked about the 29th of July. We have a city hall workshop with grid alternatives that is happening at City Hall, 6 p.m.
5:30.
5:30.
I don't want to take too much time. I just want to let folks know that Brown Richmond is hiring for various positions. An administrative assistant, a tree crew lead, so if you have experience working outdoors, if you have a driver's license. We are hiring a tree lead and also our for crew. Visit our website, come talk to me if you know someone or if you are interested.
Great, Melinda, thank you. Awesome. Any other general announcements? Matthias, go ahead.
The environmental and health initiative team of the city wants us to let everyone know the Green Blue New Deal opportunities report. It will be open for public comment from mid-July to mid-August. So you can find them on our website or you can email them, and their phone number as well, which I won't read out loud, but if you would like more information, you can find me at the meeting and I'll give you more information.
And so being 8:00, the meeting is adjourned, and we appreciate you being here and the members of the public for joining us too. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.